to this week's special Monday edition of Sundays with Sarah. If you are part of our main channel, the Ingham Family, then you may know that this weekend we have been away down in Bristol for a special family gathering, and I didn't get a chance to film or upload my Sunday with Sarah yesterday, but I wasn't too worried. This is a bank holiday, so putting it up on Monday instead is not such a big deal. Hopefully, most of you guys are still off school, still off work, and can watch it today instead. Last Sunday, I can't believe that last Sunday we were in Mallorca. Is that right? Were we in Mallorca last Sunday? That seems insane. It feels like we've been home forever, even though we only were home a few days before we went back off to Bristol. Anyway, last Sunday I did have a plan to do a discipline vlog, how I discipline my children, what rules we have and things like that. I was all set on doing that last week, and then I completely changed my mind right at the last minute when I heard about a story of a young girl desperately in need of treatment and funds for a brain tumour. I felt like I needed to do that last week. I needed to spread awareness. I needed to help this family raise some funds, and so that's what I did last week instead. Meaning that this week I already had a plan, so I didn't need to do too much thinking. So this week with my Sunday with Sarah, I am going to speak to you guys a little bit about rules in our house and just basically a chitty chatty on how I discipline Isabel, Esme and Isla. Everyone parents differently. There is no general strict right, strict wrong, other than the obvious more serious things. But yeah, everyone parents differently. These are just my own personal parenting skills. I'm not saying that any of the parents should follow these rules. I'm not saying that if you don't follow these rules then you're wrong. These are just rules that work for us as a family and ones that we feel are important to stick by, and your views may be different, they may be the same, who knows. I just wanted to let you guys know that these are not me telling anybody how to parent, they're just my own views. So I'm going to start off by telling you a few house rules. We don't really have many rules. With regards to being a strict parent, I don't think I'm really that strict when it comes to rules in the home and rules in our family. I think they're more general rules that a lot of families follow. Maybe not, I don't know. Comment down below if you follow any of these rules. If you don't and you have different rules, also comment down below, because I love hearing about how different families work and things. But these are just rules that we have to stick by in our house. The first one, and the one that's most important to Chris probably, not as much me, but I do follow the rules, but it's more like a Chris rule, a daddy rule, is that if you want to eat something in our house, that's fine, but you have to eat at the dinner table. There's no dinners in bedrooms. Bedrooms in our house are for sleeping in, relaxing in, playing in if you're little. They're not for eating dinner. So if you're eating dinner in our house, it's always at the table. And also if you want a snack throughout the day and we're at home, crackers, sweeties, whatever, fruit, then you're absolutely more than welcome to have that snack as long as it's not too close to dinner time. But you have to get a plate and you have to sit at the dinner table to eat. Or more so Chris, can't think of anything worse than crumbs in beds and down cracks of sofas and on floors. That's just not, it's like one of Chris's most strictest rules. If you want to eat and you want a snack, that's fine, but get a plate and sit at the table. Keeping in with the eating kind of theme, another rule we have is, this one's not so much a rule, but it's just something that we really like to stick by as a family, because we're so fortunate to be able to do it that I really feel like we should make the most of it, and that's sitting together to eat dinner. So breakfast times not so much, because usually one person's in the shower and one person's getting dressed and one person's doing, or me, my makeup or something like that. So breakfast times we don't sit together as much as what we probably should. But lunch times and dinner times mainly dinner times. So dinner is in the evening meal. Some people call it tea time or evening meal, dinner. The evening meal at 5, 6 p.m, we all sit together at the table and eat dinner. I know there's so many families, and we've been in this position before ourselves when Chris worked full time or when I worked. We've been in a position where it's not possible to sit down together and eat dinner, especially when Chris worked at the airport and he did shifts, so he often was not even home until bedtime. So now that we're put into a position where we can all eat dinner together, I think it's really important to, and actually that's one of my favourite times of the day, where we're all just sat together, all connecting, all speaking about our day. We talk about our feelings, how we're all feeling at the moment. If the girls have been at school, we'll be talking about what did the girls get up to at school and how their day's been and what friends have they fallen out with that day. Usually dramas, they are girls after all. But it's just nice, I really like that close time that we get, and it's just something that we're fortunate enough to be able to do, so I like to make the most of it. And also, another rule in our house, which is kind of on the same level as what I'm talking about, is no phones, no laptops, no iPads or tablets, no toys, no dolls, no games, nothing at the dining table. The table's for eating, not playing. So meal times are one of the stricter rules in our house, and probably the one that's got the most rules. You eat at the dinner table, you don't play at the dinner table, and it's a rule that everyone's actually quite happy with. We don't ever get, but I want to do this, but I want to do that, I want to eat in my bedroom, I want to play with my doll at the table. No one ever, I think maybe it's because it's a rule that we've always had, but no one ever complains about it, which I'm really happy about. One rule that we do have in this house, this is not really a rule, it's just something that we've kind of stuck by as the girls have been growing up, and it's kind of led, I hate the word rule because this isn't a rule. You'll understand what I mean when I speak more about it, but this is something that I probably don't think most families follow. I don't think many families will do this, but it's something that we do in our house, and I don't know if that makes us strict or what, but basically getting up at a decent hour in our house is something that we all have to be mindful of others by, and the girls have to stick by. Basically, it's something we've always done. For example, if the girls wake up and it's 6 a.m, that's not an acceptable time in our house to wake everybody up and expect to go down for breakfast and be up and ready for the day. 6 a.m. to me is the middle of the night, and I know I'm fortunate to be able to say that because so many people have to be up for work at 6 a.m. They have to be at the house for 7, and there's no choice in sleeping in. There's no choice in that. We've been there too when I worked or when Chris worked, and it was acceptable to get up at that time. But now, and I guess it's always been for the girls, they're not early risers. I have friends whose children, especially in summertime, wake up at 5 a.m. and they're all up for the day, and I praise you because I am one of those people that need sleep. I need my sleep. If I don't get 9 hours a night, I'm tired. I'm really tired, which is just insane. But basically, in our house, if you wake up before 8, I'd say before 8, unless it's a school morning. If it's a weekend and you wake up before 8 a.m, it's not acceptable to be jumping out of bed and waking up the whole house. If you need the toilet, you are obviously more than welcome to get up and use the toilet. If you need a drink, you are more than welcome to get up and get yourself a drink. If you're not feeling well or you've got a headache, obviously the girls are told, come straight into me, Daddy, wake us up and let us know. Which they don't generally do, but in the past they have done if they've felt poorly. They're not generally poorly, but what I'm saying is if they do, they know they're allowed to get up. If they need the toilet, they know they're allowed to get up for the toilet. Or if they need to fill their water glass, they know they're also allowed to do that. But they know that if it's a weekend and it's before 8 a.m, that they've got books, they can read quietly, they've got their TV, which they can put on if they want to. And in our house, we probably wake up around 9 a.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday morning, and that's completely acceptable. When the girls were babies, if they ever woke up at 6 a.m, because I was a stay-at-home mum, I was fortunate enough to be able to soothe them, calm them back down, and put them back to sleep until around 8 a.m, which I think is what made them more accepting of sleeping in now that they're all older and not waking up in the night type thing. So generally the girls don't wake up before 8:39 anyway, but I'm just saying if they did, that they know that in our house they have to read quietly until around 8:30, 9 a.m. We're super lucky, me and Chris, with children. so lucky because I always say our girls are lazy. There's so many weekends, in fact probably 9 times out of 10, that me and Chris will wake up. I wake up before Chris just because obviously he edits on an evening, so he's super tired. I usually wake up around 8:30 and I'll get my phone, I'll just check on our updates and things like that, check on emails, get out of bed around 9, walk into the girls' bedroom and they're all fast asleep. Literally fast asleep, and I'll be like, good morning girls, and there's good morning. They're all usually fast asleep, so I'm quite lucky. But I think it's because we have always had the rule that it's just not acceptable to wake up in the middle of the night, 5, 6 a.m, and then wake up the whole house and think it's okay to do that. That's just a rule that we've always had. I don't know if that makes us strict, I don't know if people will agree with that or not, but that's just the way we do it. Other than general rules that pretty much I'm sure any other household will have, no shouting, no fighting, my girls don't fight anyway, but no arguing, no speaking badly, no hitting and things like that, I don't think we have any other rules that we really stick by. Obviously we've got you have to brush your teeth before bed, and when you wake up in the morning you have to have a wash, things like that, but I don't think they're rules, they're more just family life, I guess. The rules that I just told you are the only ones, the dinner table and the sleeping thing. I think they're the only rules that we really have in our house. Right then, moving on to discipline. Disciplining the girls is something that I feel like we have been so lucky with, because our girls are generally very well behaved. My sister, bless her little heart, has 3 boys and 1 girl, and she sometimes, not all the time, she dreads sometimes going out because she's got boys who are riotous and they're full of energy. They're not naughty, but they're full of energy, and I don't know, I've got friends, not just my sister, friends too, who like, I'll say, do you want to go for a Costa? They're like, oh, I can't, I've got the kids. And to me, going to Costa with the girls is absolutely no different to going to Costa on my own, other than they chat. But in regards to it being stressful or worrying that they're going to be naughty and things like that, I don't have those worries because generally my girls are really well behaved. And the only thing that I really have to tell them off for really is just general sibling rivalry, basically. Just general sibling bickering. I guess that's what you'd call it. It's nothing serious, it's nothing severe or anything like that. She's got my doll, no I haven't, it's mine, blah blah blah. It's basically just that, and snatching. I can't stand snatching and speaking aggressively to each other. I think maybe more Isla and Esme because they play together so much, and you can't expect 2 sisters aged 8 and 5 to play together all day like they do and not have some sort of fed up behaviour. But yeah, they play together all day really nicely. There are the occasion when they bicker, she's got my toy, and I can't stand snatching, and sometimes one of them will go, give me it back, and snatch it, and then the other one will start crying, usually Isla, she stole my toy, and then we'll go to Esme, Esme, did you steal her toy? It was mine, I had it first. That's really the only thing that the girls do that they have to be warned about, and the way that I discipline them, and Chris. So if I hear Esme and Isla playing, and I hear Esme, for example, say, that's mine, give me it back now, I'll shout Esme in straight away, because it's not acceptable to speak to someone like that, even if they've got your toy. So Esme will come into my bedroom, and I'll just basically say to her, why have I called you in here, Esme? And straight away she'll say, because I shouted at Isla. And then I'll say, that's not acceptable to speak to someone like that. If I hear you do it again, you'll be on the naughty step. And that's it. Go say sorry to Isla for speaking to her like that, give her a hug. Esme will go off, she'll say sorry Isla, give her a hug, and usually that's the end of it. It doesn't usually escalate further than that. If the girls are very tired, I always find it's when they're tired, and they're bickering to a stage where I've told them, if they've had their warning, and then it's, okay, I've told you now, I've given you your warning, you're still doing it, go and sit on timeout. I've always used timeout. My whole life, I find it works, an absolute treat. The girls don't like going on timeout, and I feel like it gives them quiet time to really think about what they've done or why they've been put on the naughty step. And the amount of time that they go on their timeout spot for is a minute for every year they are. So if Isla ever gets put on timeout, it's for 5 minutes. If Esme ever gets put on timeout, it's for 8 minutes, and if Isabel ever gets put on timeout, which she never does, but if Isabel ever gets put on timeout, it's 11 minutes. Which leads me on to what I was just hinting at. Who goes on timeout the most? Who's the naughtiest? I hate the word who's the naughtiest. I don't have a child that's naughtier than the other one. They're not naughty. They're just so different in their personalities. Isabel was so, and still is, a really, really, really laid back child who wants to please everyone. It's like her mission in life to please people. She's so kind-hearted and hates upsetting people. So I think in her whole life, Isabel's probably been on the naughty step once, maybe twice. In her whole 11 years, it's very rare that we have to put Isabel on the naughty step. Esme, she's not naughty. She's not the naughtiest child, but she probably spends the most time on the naughty step. Not because she's naughty, but just because Esme is so fiery. She's such a fiery character, which is awesome in some ways. It's so awesome. She's so confident and adventurous and energetic, and sometimes she has to go on timeout just to calm down a little bit. It doesn't mean that she's naughty though. The things that she's doing for timeout are more to do with, Esme, come on now, you've been told not to do that. It's not to do with her being really naughty or doing something that she knows that she's doing that's wrong. It's hard to explain, but it's not because she's naughty. It's just because she's just so fiery. She's fiery. And then Isla, she's an absolute little princess. Don't get me wrong, she's not a saint by any means. And she does get into trouble, and she does have a little attitude sometimes, and she does wind Esme up sometimes. But Isla hates being in trouble. She hates it. She's quite different to Esme. If Esme gets put on timeout, she didn't really care. She's like, okay, I'll go on timeout. I'll go on timeout, that's fine. If Isla gets put on timeout, oh my goodness, the tears are flowing. She can't get her breath because she's going, and it's just, they're just so different. And I don't think that one of them's naughty than the other, but when you've got 3 girls and they've all got different personalities, it's awesome. So that's it. I've gone through rules, I've gone through discipline. I thought this would be a really short vlog. I was thinking, how can I make this into a decent sized vlog? But actually, I've been filming for about 16 minutes right now, so hopefully I'll be able to cut it down a little bit so that I don't bore you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. It's given you maybe a little bit more of an insight into the girls' lives, the way we parent, and the way we discipline. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know what it's like in your house. Do you have rules? Do you get disciplined? I also just want to add that even though I said, like, I like to chat to the girls when they're naughty and I like to explain to them what they've done, I'm not a saint parent either. I sometimes get it wrong. I sometimes lose my stuff. I sometimes do. I get tired also. I get stressed also. And there has been times where I've gone, for God's sake, just calm down, and shouted. I'm not a saint parent either, but the way I tend to parent and the way I prefer to parent is more telling them what they've done, explaining what they've done, and then giving them appropriate punishments for that. Anyway, comment down below, let me know what it's like in your house, let me know how your parents discipline you or how you as a parent prefer to discipline your child, because I would be really interested in reading all of your comments. Hope you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up if you did. Today, we are going to surprise Isla with something that she's wanted to do for so long. It will be uploaded to our main channel, the Ingham Family, tomorrow at 6 PM. So make sure you go and check that out. And I will see you all again next Sunday for Sundays with Sarah. Bye!